I know. You've been looking around for ways to quit. This habit just makes you feel like a degenerate, weak, pathetic man. You just feel like this is that monster you can't get rid of. This habit, this degenerate habit you can't kick, even if you've gotten rid of the other ones. Even if you quit video games, even if you quit social media like I did, and you started working out, running a business, making thousands of dollars, all this other stuff, but you just can't kick this habit, seemingly no matter how hard you try. I know how it is. I know how it is. Don't lose hope. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Believe me, you can do it. I have a solution for you. I'm going to first open up with my experience. So, first of all, this is going to be quite awkward, My family could see this video and they're like, wow, what a loser. But anyways, I'll open up. So, I was very young when I started. I was 11, 12. To give you an idea of how young I was, on my first experience, and I don't even know how I got to the website, to be honest. I'm a smart person. I've always been a smart person, so I guess that's a downside. You end up being curious and you stumble in the wrong place. Maybe you have a similar experience to me and you just found it for some weird reason you don't remember. But I went on the website, and to articulate to you how young I was, when I finished, nothing came out. That's how young I was. And, I didn't know it was wrong. I didn't know it was bad. I just saw, boobies bouncing around. I was like, wow, amazing. Cool. It goes boy yoing, right? And this continued for, about 6 years. Because, okay, I'm 17 now. I know, I look like a grown man. Because I am a grown man. 17 now. I finally kicked the habit a few months ago. So 6 years, 11, yeah, something like 6 years is around accurate. 6 years I was doing it, and for the first 2 I didn't know it was wrong. So I was just, and I had a young developing brain, so my brain was just taking in all of this crap. Then I realized, hey, this is actually wrong. This is actually bad for me. I shouldn't be doing this. And then, I wasn't able to. And it was like that for years. And I tried quitting for years. Literal years I tried quitting. Years. And I know a lot of you might be able to relate to that. You're trying to quit. You're just trying, and just nothing works. Even if you go a week without it, it just always comes back. It just never fully disappears. And this even came after I significantly improved my life. I quit social media, I quit video games, I started eating healthier, I lost a lot of weight, got in shape, work out, all this other stuff, but, making thousands of dollars, but online, self-employed, and it's just this one thing, it just wasn't able to kick the habit. It was just clinging on to me. I just couldn't shake it off, no matter how hard I tried. And truthfully, it's very important that you quit. And I feel like this is one of the first steps towards quitting. Realize that it's actually good to quit. And it's more than just, hey, I feel like, and this is an important part, right? You should feel like the way I'm about to articulate. Like, you feel like a weak, pathetic man because you're watching other women that don't even know who you are, and you're giving away your precious energy to them. It makes you feel like a geek. And it should. It made me feel like a geek. It should make you feel like a geek. But also, you have to realize that you have a divine command from God to not be a geek. When I say a geek, I mean the way I would define the word psychotil, which is a word I made up. Because there's this big thing, oh, you can't use the word loser because that's bad, it's negative context. Like, all right, well, I guess I'll make my own word, right? So psychotil. And this word essentially means someone not living up to the potential that God has given them. God calls men to provide, protect, via the Bible, provide, protect, all this other stuff. Traditional masculine gender roles. In order to fulfill these roles, you need to do things like working out, you need to figure out how to be financially stable, all these other things, right? These are divine commands. And part of this is not, watching this explicit content. In fact, I'm going to refer to, because I can't get the video flagged, I don't feel like getting the video flagged, so I'm going to refer to explicit content as kidney beans, because I feel like it. kidney beans. When I say kidney beans, you know what I mean now. But yeah, it's very important that you quit kidney beans. You have a divine command to do so. Okay, you shouldn't be doing this. And you know this, it's much like everything else, like not working out. Avoiding working out is more than just, well, you shouldn't be a scrawny little nerd, because and who wants to be a scrawny little nerd? You should be living to your best, living to your full potential, right? But beyond that, and this is really where the strong foundation comes, this is where I base my quote-unquote self-improvement. When I say self-improvement, I always mean the inverse, improving yourself. That's a subjective thing. I always look at it from the frame of the Bible, right? The Bible calls me to protect others. The Bible calls me to be capable. The Bible says, treat my body like a temple. Doesn't that mean I should work out? Now I have a divine command to work out. That's a strong foundation. That's building the house on the rock rather than the sand. So build your foundation on that. It's not only because you want to stop being a little loser, just watching some chick that doesn't know who you are. It's also a divine command. Have that rock foundation. And once you do that, once you understand that, next, you need to reframe things. This is probably one of the most important things. Really, really important. Okay, you need to reframe the way you think about kidney beans. You don't enjoy kidney beans. And this is really the basis for quitting any addiction. I know a lot of you are like, well, if I don't enjoy kidney beans, then I wouldn't be addicted to it. But that's your problem right there, my friend. You think you enjoy it. And you think because you enjoy it, you're addicted to it. The truth is you aren't actually enjoying it. You're just addicted to this dopamine fix. It's a very complicated thing to explain. But it's kind of like, I'll use this. I'll say this. Imagine you were, thinking about the last time you were on, you're doing whatever, whether you're on Reddit and you're looking at subreddits, or you have these TikToks and you save TikToks of what, or you literally go on the websites, which is even worse. Think about what you're doing. Think about what you were doing. You were watching your kidney beans and you were having a good time. Think about it. Did you actually enjoy that? Think about the end of it. Was that even worth it? Did it even feel good? Try to put yourself back in the situation where you were doing it and, envision yourself turning on your brain and being like, hey, do you enjoy this? You're probably going to be like, not really, to be honest. I don't even know why I'm doing this. That's how it is. I know it. That's how it is. You don't actually enjoy it. You're just addicted to this fix. And once this comes from an easy peasy way, that's the most important part of understanding. That's the most important part of quitting, right? One of the most important, at the very least. Reframe it. Understand you don't actually enjoy it. And this is the way I talk about, quitting video games, quitting your phone addiction. Realize you don't actually enjoy these type of things. You're just addicted to the fix that comes with it, right? You don't enjoy it. So tell this to yourself, I don't enjoy kidney beans. You don't. That's the truth. You actually don't. And when you understand that, it's much, much easier to quit because you don't actually enjoy it. What's the reason for doing it? Now, for a lot of people, that's it. I've seen it, the easy peasy way. That's basically, the easy peasy way is a very long, it's like a 6-hour audiobook, 4 hours, something like that. And that's basically 4 hours can be summed up in that. You don't actually enjoy it. So it's easy to quit now. And you know what? For me, that didn't work fully. It helped. It helped a lot, but it didn't get the job done. What really got the job done was me getting caught. So, this will be another quick story. There's moments where I'm so smart and so perfect that there kind of has to be moments where the universe is like, all right, you know what, bro? You're too cool. We have to make you do something really stupid. So it's not even my fault. No, I'm just kidding. It was my fault, but it was a really dumb thing. Oh my God. But I was sitting in this chair and, I was on Reddit. This was 4 months ago, probably. This is my last time. It's the last time I ever did it. Last time I ever will do it. I was scrolling and, Mom came in my room and my pants were down, and I like the door's over there, so I was good. But it was way too obvious because I got a big schlong, so I kind of gotta tuck it in. If you know, you know. And she was suspicious, but I kind of navigated. Like I made it out. Okay, I was good, but I put my phone down on my chair and I just put it face down so it went to sleep. I didn't click the power button, so it didn't lock. So she told me to take out the garbage, so I took out the garbage, and I came back and she's like, "I know what you were doing." I was like, "What?" And then she pulls out my phone and it's just, God. And that was probably one of the most. Whew, man. Because it's very important for me to take care of the people around me. And part of that is having them be able to trust me. Having them think highly of me, not for my own ego, although I'll be honest, that's kind of part of it. I mean, it feels good for people to think highly of you, but also because it gives them peace. Like imagine you had a roommate and your roommate was spot on, right? Whenever something went wrong, he was always there and he always fixed it and he was like a superhero. You would have a lot of security. You would feel good about, having him around. But imagine if he was some unstable mess, drinking alcohol and breaking things all the time. You would hate living with them. Right? So think about it like that. I want to be an individual that people can trust and people can turn to. And, this type of stuff really undermines that, and I don't blame anyone for thinking, hey, what a loser. You got caught by him. What a loser. Like, I can't even get mad at them. Like, yeah, call me a loser. It's what I am right now. Not anymore. When I say right now, I mean the past tense. Now, it's been 4 months or so. Haven't even wanted to do it, and really, this is one thing I don't think that can be emulated. You got to try and, think about the mindset, okay? Because this is how it was. When I wanted to quit and I was thinking about, okay, well, I don't actually enjoy it. And it's very important you think about it. I forgot to mention this. It's very important you think about it like that because you don't use willpower. Because what a lot of people do is like, well, you just got to tough it out. You got to use your willpower or you just can't do it. You got to say no. And yeah, but humans have a finite amount of willpower. Eventually, you're going to give in. It's much easier if you just understand that you don't actually enjoy it, because you don't need willpower. What do you need? If you don't enjoy doing something, do you need willpower to avoid shooting yourself in the foot? No. Why would I want to shoot myself in the foot? That's the way you got to think about it. Doing this stuff, watching your kidney beans and beating it is like shooting yourself in the foot. You don't enjoy it. It just gives you pain, just gives you suffering. And once you understand it in that way, it's much easier to quit. Now, back to the point, there were still, when you do this thing for, any extended period of time, and when I say extended, I mean it's relatively short, to be honest, like a week, maybe. You get this neural pathway that starts getting built up from the first time you do it. This neural pathway is like, well, when I do this, it feels good, so I want to do it again. Right? Because the dopamine doesn't actually feel good. You don't actually enjoy it, but the dopamine, it's like your brain circuitry is wired to like this dopamine hits. That's why you're addicted to a lot of other stuff too, by the way. Candy, video games, phone, whatever. You get this dopamine fix, right? And the neural pathway takes time to get rid of. Like eventually, after you stop doing it for a certain amount of time, the neural pathway gets destroyed, and then there's no monster calling for you to do it. But something very interesting happened when I quit, and the advice I would give to you is you need to really, really think about, like, that one way. It's like, imagine all of your, ancestors, they were just looking down upon you from above. Would you still do it? It's like, oh God, no. You gotta think about that, but amplify it times 10. Like, do you want your mom to know about this? What if your mom caught you? Imagine how embarrassing that would be. Imagine how awful that would be. Your dad, or even, and I'm getting an icon of Jesus not an idol. I know the Baptists can be like, that's an idol. You can't do that. It's an icon. It's a bit different. I'm a Protestant Orthodox. I know it's really weird. I'm going to make another video about my theology, but I think I'm not all the way on the icon side where it's like, well, kiss the icons. I'm not all the way there, but I'm also not like the Baptists say, like, no icons ever, no drawings, no pictures of Jesus. Like, I think it's good to have representations of, hey, you're a Christian, you believe in Jesus. So I have this Orthodox icon. It's like this little stand, Jesus. And the reason why I bring it up is because, that would really be an effective way of doing it as well. Because, you just have this reminder right here that, Jesus loves you and Jesus is watching. It's like, are you going to be beating it and you're just going to look over and see Jesus watch? Are you going to keep doing No, but seriously, you need to really think about the adverse effects. Because I think this is what happened to me. When I got caught, I kind of realized, hey, you're really hurting the people around you when you do this. Like, if they found out what you're doing, it would really hurt them, right? It does hurt them. And the way I was like, being with the roommate that's an alcoholic, breaking everything. Not exactly the same, but you get the point, right? It's harder to trust you. It's harder to respect you. It's harder to do all these things. Do you really want to impose this type of stuff on other people? Do you really want to potentially impose this stuff on other people? Imagine. Like, really think about it. Think about it really hard. And what happened to me is, like, I thought about that after it happened, and it's just like my neural pathway. It's like, this is point A, then this is, like pleasure. I don't know, like horniness, whatever you want to call it, right? It's like, okay, well, the pathway is watch kidney beans, or I want kidney beans because of this, or whatever. Just imagine, this is the I want kidney beans line. What, point A, point B, who cares? And then when that happened, poof, it was gone. I didn't need a single ounce of willpower to quit after that. It was so easy. And it's still so easy now. I've not had a single desire to open up, my incognito, open up the browser, or go on Reddit, or, go on TikTok and watch this. No desire at all. I don't want to do it. And you know what? I really think that's the way to quit. You have to really think about it. First, understand you don't actually do it, and then understand that, like, the adverse effects you can have on other people that you actually care about. And really, this requires a lot of self-esteem, requires a quote-unquote ego. Because, like, I can't be the guy that's like an alcoholic roommate that's going in and breaking everything in the house. I can't be that guy. Too good for that. I know, ego, prideful. Well, guess what? That's how it is. All right. So, next. Separate beating it and kidney beans. Now, I'm not going to come in here and say, hey, beating it is good for you. You should beat it. Because I feel like it's a bit irresponsible. But I will say, they're two different monsters. Okay, they're two different beings. One monster, you can argue, like, well, is that monster really bad? From a scientific perspective, no, it's not really bad. I'm not really with all these retention and no F YouTubers. And no F means I can't really use that word. I'm not really with them. It's like, well, if you stop for a week, then you're going to be able to fly. No, I don't really believe that. You need to separate the two. Okay, at the very least, separate the two. Understand they're two different things. Because what a lot of people do, this is really the major flaw with all these retention and no F YouTubers, right? They say, well, you got to stop beating it because beating it's really bad for you. You need to stop beating. It's like, well, you're not really attacking the real monster. The real monster here is the kidney beans. That's really the bad part here. The really bad part, I should say. This is what you really need to get rid of. This is priority number one. If you decide, hey, I don't want to, beat it either. You think you have benefits or maybe you're even doing it right now and you think it's good. Go ahead. I'm not here saying you should. Okay, but that's not the real monster. That's a sideshow. That's something you figure out once you conquer this monster. Imagine you're playing like Super Mario Bros. Like Super Mario Bros. Wii, I'm not a gamer anymore, but like I finished the game with my friends, Someone signed into your account on Amazon. Oh boy. Well, I'll deal with that after this video. It's more important. But yeah, I mean, imagine playing New Super Mario Bros. Wii, right? And you got to get to the final Bowser level, right? And like that's kidney beans. And then you have, you know, Star Road or whatever it's called, the next world after that, where you do the bonus levels. That's like the beating it. Like you decide if that's necessary. It's up to you. Okay, but really the final boss, the real final boss here is the kidney beans. That's the Bowser level. That's world 9. Nah, I was gonna say 9/11, but I don't think that's actually whatever. You know, the castle where you gotta, you know, defeat Bowser. You gotta then defeat Dry Bowser. It's like that. Those are the kidney beans. You have to separate these two things. Understand that the real monster are the kidney beans, and you really need to focus on getting rid of that. And after you do that, once you separate the two, that's very simple. You just think in your head, okay, these are two different things. Separate the two. Like, don't listen to these no-F and retention YouTubers who only talk about beating it, because that's not really the problem. The main problem. The main problem is the kidney beans. I think we can all agree on that. Now, also, next, get rid of triggers. So, this is very self-explanatory. If you, and I know how it is, okay, if you have Reddit, you should probably delete it. Because first of all, I mean, what intelligent people use Reddit? Like, what good thing do people use Reddit for? I mean, you're watching my channel, you're probably a Christian, or you're a G. I mean, you're a G plus a Christian, right? If you're watching me right now, that's probably what you are. What the hell do we do on Reddit? I mean, when I downloaded Reddit, it was only to watch, you know, this kidney bean stuff. That's the only thing I use Reddit for. Well, what am I going to do? Get on the forums and listen to a bunch of libtards talk about crap? Donald Trump is the next Hitler. Like, do you think I'm going to listen to these people? These people are stupid. But, you know, all they're good for is, you know, they're kidney beans. Quote unquote good. Not actually good. But just get rid of the triggers. Get rid of the apps you don't need. If you're using an app solely for this, you know, explicit content, then get rid of it. I mean, that's very self-explanatory. You know, when you see something that's potentially triggering, when I say trigger, I don't mean like SJW. I mean, you'll trigger your desire for kidney beans. Then, you know, put down don't recommend. Like, this is very self-explanatory. This is very personal to whatever triggers you, but try to stay away from it. Yeah, I know, you've probably already heard that, and it's far more useful after you heard everything else I said, because a lot of people start like, well, you got to stop doing it with your willpower, and then, you know, you got to remove the triggers. Like, that doesn't help that much. But once you do everything I told you about, you know, changing the way you think about it, reframing it, separating the kidney beans and, you know, beating it, this becomes far more useful. Trust me. Now, I'm going to give you the actual most important step here. I tricked you earlier when I said the reframing is the most important thing. It's actually not. It's probably the second most important. It's up there. But the most important towards actually quitting, I believe, is trying. I know. You're going to say, bro, I've been trying for years and it hasn't worked. What do you mean try? But think about it like this, okay? This is really what the situation is. Imagine you have a coconut, right? And you have a spoon. And you haven't watched any videos on how to help. You haven't done anything. You just want to quit, and equate that to trying to open this coconut with a spoon. You're just, you know, whacking it. Eventually, you're going to open the coconut. It's going to take ages. It's going to take ages. It's going to be difficult. But you're going to do it eventually, right? So that's the most important thing. Even if you have no idea what you're doing, even if you don't do anything I told you, the most important thing is just to try, because eventually you're going to open the coconut. Eventually. It's going to take a long time. For me, it took years. But here's the thing. This is where things change. When you learn things like what I told you, you know, change the way you think about it, reframe it, separate the two. Your spoon suddenly becomes this like machete. Then opening this coconut up becomes far easier. And it's like a progression, you know, like, well, first start with the spoon. Now you have a really big iron mallet. Now you have like a very sharp knife. and I have like a machete. It's like a line. It's a progression of, the coconut being easier and easier to open. Think about what this is. But the most important thing is you actually try, because you know what? Even if you don't watch anything, even if you're a complete retard, you at least trying to open up this coconut with a spoon is better than the person who doesn't even try. The person just looks at the coconut. It's like, well, they had the spoon in hand. Like, this is the potential just to try at the coconut here. And they're like, well, oh well. To hell with it. I don't feel like trying. That's what you can't do. That's what a lot of people do. Truthfully. Be happy that you're at least trying, because you know what? 99% of people don't even try. Maybe they'll watch a few videos like, oh, well, retention YouTuber. Yeah, I'm going to watch him. But that's it. Like, well, I'm watching, well, yeah, maybe it would be nice to quit, but I'm not going to do that. It's too hard. She said that. That's what she said. No, it's not. No, she said that. Actually, that's a new way. She said that. But yeah, they don't even try. Don't try. And, now I'm going to talk about how you know when it's actually over, when you actually quit. And truthfully, I don't want to give you an exact time. For me, I kind of use easy peasy ways. Time span of like 3 weeks, right? But I would say It's like like you just know. Like, if you don't know that if you've quit it, if you've kicked the habit, then you haven't kicked it. The second you're like, hey, I kicked this habit, I'm free. It's over. That's how you know you kicked it. I can't give you any dates, although I'd say 3 weeks is a pretty decent marker. That's probably the best number I can give you. 3 weeks. 3 weeks of not doing anything. And that's it. I mean, how long? Think about 3 weeks ago. That feels like yesterday, doesn't it? It's not that long. Now, let's go over the benefits. And also think about these as the downsides. For example, we're going to talk about attraction to women, because my experience was a bit different, because I still like what I liked before, but at the same time I can appreciate a female's beauty much more, because what happens is, this is partially why because the inverse, I'm going to go over the inverse, as I just said. The inverse is your attraction to women gets messed up. So think about these in the inverse for downsides as well. Although I'm pretty sure you're aware of the downsides already. Like, you already understand this quite well. But the benefits, like, we'll actually talk about the positives here. So be positive. Attraction to women gets improved, you might go from only being able to look at the most perfect pair of boobs in order to get up and actually be pleasured. But now, anything will be like, wow, amazing. And that's how it's supposed to be. And that's the natural state of things, not this, overly perfect, bodies that they purport, because half of them are fake. Not fake as in surgery, but fake as in, photoshopped. Your wiener works better. I can say that for sure. And my wiener already worked pretty good, but now it works even better. Trying to think of one that's not the best one, because I want to finish on that point. Your horniness is a lot more productive. I don't know how I'm going to explain that. Like your horniness before is kind of unproductive, and now you just want to, watch explicit content. You want to watch your kidney beans, but after you've kicked it, your horniness kind of becomes productive in the sense like, okay, well, I want to get a girl. I want to have for us Christians, we want to get a wife, a nice wife. If we want to do that, then we got to be in a position to have a wife, so provide, protect, all those other things. We have to, work, right? It's a lot more productive. But I'm going to go over the best benefit, and that is the mental clarity and happiness that comes with it. Okay, because as I told you in my experience, quit social media, quit video games, and this was the monster I couldn't get rid of. And I recently got rid of it, and there's this massive feeling of tranquility that comes with getting rid of this habit. Because you know what? It robs you of your happiness. And that's what they want. Okay, they want all of us, especially us Christians, they want us to be mindless zombies addicted to things so we are easy to control. That's what they want. And explicit content's one of the ways to do it. Yeah, they want to. This is partially also destroying the family because it's making relationships. It's detrimental to the relationships. So it's that and our happiness. They want us to be unhappy zombies addicted to whatever they give us. They want to destroy us. But you can break the conditioning, as AJ would put it. You can break the conditioning. You can break out of the mold. You can break out of this rat race that they're putting you into. And this is part of the rat race. It's more than just, college, school, although that's a big part of it. The rat race is also, get addicted to this stuff, right? They want you addicted. They want you to be a mindless little worm. Yeah, that's what they want for us. It's not even your fault, I think about my situation. I was a little kid. I was like 11, and I couldn't even, disperse anything that would get a woman pregnant. That's how young I was. I didn't know, and you probably didn't know when you started either. Maybe your friend told you at school. It's sad, and that's what they want. They want, because then they get the money off of you. It's all about money. It's all about money, power, and control. They want us to be under that regime. You can break out of it. And one of the ways of breaking out of it is quitting this. Right? And when you quit, you're happy. Far more happy. Because I always say, true happiness is life without vices. Now, when you're using explicit kidney beans, when you're using social media and you're addicted to it, and you're addicted to video games, all this stuff just takes you out of reality. You're really addicted to it partially because you hate your life. Right? If you actually enjoyed your life, you wouldn't want to do all these other things. So, actually, another tip would be, get busy outside of life. Start a business. Do important things. Help people. Do stuff that matters. Right? That's a very good supplement to quitting. Because much like other vices, it just takes you away from reality. If you actually enjoy your reality, you'll want to be pulled away from it less. And you're like, well, I don't really want to play video games. I don't really want kidney beans. I don't really want social media because I like what I'm doing now. I like my reality that I live in right now. I don't need that. It's unnecessary. I like the life I live. That's a big part of it. That's another tip for you. But you will feel so happy. Like, when I realized it's over, I kicked it. I got so happy. It's one of the happiest moments of my life, to be honest. Like, finally, I got over it. And I hope you could feel that as well, because they don't want us to have that. But I want you to have it. The movement here is to build back Christian men. Okay, Christian men have been disenfranchised. This is one aspect. This is one aspect of trying to destroy us. We're going to. We're going to break the conditioning. And you know what? We're actually going to make a difference in the world. Because I feel like Christian men have fallen under this conditioning of, you got to be nice. You're working out's hedonistic. Explicit content. Just read the Bible. And you know what? I know a lot of people are going to say, like, why haven't you mentioned the Bible? Why haven't you mentioned verses and whatnot? And you know what? It's not because it's not because I think the Bible is not useful in this case. I think you all know the verses. Talk about lust and all those other things. But I truly do believe God wants us to. I believe God put us on this earth for a reason, and He's given us free will. Because if you believe in predestination, you believe like God controls our actions, then yeah, it's probably more useful to do it that way. But I believe in free will. It's like, you know what? If we're calling to God, like, God, help, get rid of this addiction for me, and God just looks down and is like, well, you aren't really trying yourself. Why should I help you? I've given you free will. You're choosing to do this stuff. And you could choose not to do it. Why should I help you? I really think that's how it is. And that's the just, truthful way of doing it. Because really what this Bible stuff is, and I really don't want to, talk down on it, because that's not my point. The point is, it's kind of like you're asking, because this is not about God, this is about people being lazy, like humans being lazy. They're kind of just asking, like, well, God, please hold my hand, please stop, make me stop. It's like, God is just. God wants the best for you. God loves you. But at the same time, He's not going to hold your hand and, make you quit. Now, it's up to you. So that's why I've made this a very action-based plan. It's up to you at the end of the day. If you know what the Bible says about this, you know what the Bible says is wrong. It's up to you to quit. You have free will. So this movement is about building back Christian men. Okay? And this is about using our free will in order to improve ourselves, because this is also a part of, creating disciples. I mean, think about it. Most Christian men are not particularly respectable individuals. Most of them are fat. Most of them are scrawny. So when I started evangelizing and started talking about God, everyone just looked at them like, what a loser. If you're a truly respectable individual, people will listen to what you say, and that's a very effective way of creating disciples. You're like, well, this guy seems cool. Christian. Maybe there's something to this, and they look into it. Maybe they'll become Christian. It's a lead. About business. There's a lot more to this. I have a community I've made. Link in description for the Discord. There's a free section. There's also a paid section. In the paid section, I teach you about, business, mindset, all this other stuff, because this is really a small little smidgen of it. Community of like-minded individuals. We're men who are trying to be a part of this movement building back Christian men. So with all that being said, like I said, link in the description for the Discord, website, Instagram, build up my follower base there. Subscribe to the channel for future videos. Those are all my call to actions. See you in the next video.